Merry Christmas from the Wild West, a cowboy Christmas tale. The snow fell softly over the frontier town of Red Hollow, a place where miracles were rare and survival was earned the hard way. Wooden buildings creaked in the winter wind, and lanterns flickered like tired stars against the cold night. Christmas had arrived, but in the Wild West, joy didn't come easy. Ethan Cole rode slowly into town, his horse's hooves crunching against the frozen ground. He had been on the trail for weeks, chasing work that never lasted and memories he couldn't outrun. His coat was worn, his boots cracked, and his heart heavier than his saddlebag. Red Hollow looked different tonight. Green wreaths hung crookedly on saloon doors. A small pine tree stood in the center of town, decorated with bits of cloth, old bullets polished to shine, and candles flickering bravely against the wind. Ethan hadn't celebrated Christmas since his wife and son were buried beneath a lonely oak tree years ago. Since then, December was just another cold month to survive. He tied his horse outside the saloon and stepped inside. The warmth hit him like a memory he didn't ask for. Townsfolk gathered around rough wooden tables, sharing laughter, stew, and stories. A fiddler played a slow, hopeful tune. The bartender nodded. "Merry Christmas, stranger." Ethan hesitated before answering. "Merry Christmas." At the far corner, a young girl sat alone, clutching a small wooden horse. Her coat was thin, her hands red from the cold. Ethan noticed the way she watched the door, waiting for someone who wasn't coming. Outside, snow continued to fall, blanketing the scars of the land. Inside, the town tried its best to believe in hope. Later that night, Ethan learned the girl's name was Lily. Her father had ridden out days ago, promising to return before Christmas. He never did. "He always comes back," she said softly, though doubt lived behind her eyes. That night, the wind howled louder than before. The town slept uneasily. Just before dawn, gunshots shattered the silence. Ethan was out the door before his boots were fully on. A wounded rider had collapsed near the church, bleeding and freezing. It was Lily's father. Bandits had ambushed him, stealing supplies meant to save the town through winter. Ethan and a few others carried the man inside, but his injuries were bad. "He won't make it without help," the preacher said. Ethan looked at Lily, who stood frozen, fear and hope fighting in her eyes. That moment stirred something Ethan thought was long dead. "I'll track them," he said. Tonight. The trail was cruel, the cold unforgiving. Snow erased tracks, but Ethan followed instinct and faith. Hours later, he found the bandits camped near a canyon. The fight was fast and fierce. When the dust settled, Ethan stood alone, bruised but breathing. The stolen supplies were recovered. He returned to Red Hollow as Christmas morning dawned, dragging the sled of supplies behind him. The town gathered as he arrived. Lily ran to her father's side as the doctor treated him with the recovered medicine. By noon, church bells rang. The town gathered around the small tree. Candles burned brighter. The fiddler played again. For the first time in years, Ethan felt warmth that didn't come from fire. Lily approached him and handed him the wooden horse. "For you," she said. "Because you came back." Ethan knelt, tears freezing on his cheeks. That night, under a sky filled with stars, Red Hollow celebrated Christmas, not because life was easy, but because hope had survived. And for the first time in many years, Ethan Cole believed again.